Okay, so we're diving into cyberpunk fashion today.
Cool, cool.
Yeah. And what I find really interesting is how this look.
Yeah.
It's like gone from science fiction to like
Right.
mainstream. You know what I mean? Like we're not just
Yeah.
reading about it in books anymore.
Yeah, yeah. It's like we're living in a cyberpunk novel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
2024. It's feeling kind of dystopian, don't you think?
Totally. And what's fascinating to me is how this whole aesthetic, it used to be all about rejecting technology, like pushing back against the
Yeah.
corporations. And now it's become this reflection of
Yeah.
our actual lives.
Yeah.
Think about it. Remember Google Glass? Everyone thought those were so weird.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Now look at us. We're all walking around with our earbuds or smartwatches.
Right. We're practically cyborgs already.
Exactly. So it makes sense that our clothing would kind of evolve along with our tech.
It's more than just function, though, right? This article you shared, it
Yeah.
talks about how cyberpunk fashion, it's like this tension we're all feeling.
Absolutely. It's that push and pull between wanting to express our individuality,
Yeah.
stand out,
Yeah.
but at the same time, we're completely plugged into these massive tech companies.
We want to be unique, but we're also like
Yeah.
dependent on these corporations. For connection information, even the clothes we wear.
It's all connected.
Okay, let's break it down. The article talks about streetwear
Okay.
and how it's all these like oversized parkas with a million pockets.
Yes. And those pockets, they're not just for show.
Right.
I mean, they look cool, but they're practical too. These clothes, they're designed for the urban nomad. Always on the move, plugged in, juggling a million things.
Let's hold on, urban nomads. Is that what we are now?
Think about it. We're constantly connected, always on the go, hopping between like the real world and the digital world.
Okay. Yeah, I see it. And what about those fabrics that like react to stuff? The article mentioned color-changing materials, water-resistant.
That's wild, right?
It's like straight out of a sci-fi movie.
That's what makes cyberpunk fashion so cool. It's not just about looking futuristic anymore. The clothes themselves are becoming part of our tech.
Wow.
Imagine wearing a jacket that changes color with your mood, or becomes waterproof when it starts raining. We're not that far off. And you know where this gets really interesting? We've talked about streetwear, but this whole cyberpunk thing, it's even infiltrated corporate wear.
Yeah. It's like dystopian fashion meets power suits.
Right. Who would thought? But this corpo, look, like the article calls it, it's not about like rejecting the corporate world.
It's more about like sneaking in the side door.
Yeah, exactly. Sharp tailoring minimalist designs, but with these like futuristic details.
Like a glazer with weird angles or something.
Yeah, or like metallic accents. It's definitely a nod to like the power of tech CEOs.
It's like saying, I'm going to dominate this board meeting, then hop in my flying car.
Totally.
Yeah.
And it shows how clothing can be like a symbol of power.
Yeah.
Especially now with tech companies having so much influence.
Okay, so we've got streetwear, we've got suits. What else is feeding into this whole cyberpunk fashion takeover?
Well, cyberpunk, it pulls a lot from like darker subcultures.
Yeah.
And we're seeing those go mainstream too. Like you mentioned neo-Gothic earlier.
Yeah. It's everywhere.
Totally. Black clothes, metallics, those platform boots with LED lights in the soles.
So cool.
Right. It adds a little mystery,
Not great if you're trying to be incognito.
Definitely more about making a statement.
For sure.
And then there's the post-apocalyptic look too.
So like Mad Max, but make it fashion.
Exactly. Distressed fabrics, muted colors, practicality. Like imagine a raw edge dress with some heavy-duty boots.
Okay, yeah, I can see it.
It's about resilience,
Wow.
resourcefulness, carving your own path, which I think resonates with a lot of people right now.
Yeah, for sure. So we've talked about the styles, the subcultures. What about the colors, the fabrics? This article had a whole section on that.
Oh yeah, the colors and textures are key to nailing the cyberpunk aesthetic. One of the big things is contrast. You'll see a lot of neon pops of color, bright pinks, electric blues, even like acidic greens.
Wow.
Set against darker, more industrial tones, like black, gray, metallics.
So it's like that visual representation of technology. then.
Exactly. The excitement, the unknown, the good and the bad all mixed into one.
I like it.
And the fabrics play a big role in that too. Cyberpunk loves to mix and match textures to get that edgy, futuristic vibe,
So we're talking neons with these industrial colors. What about the actual materials, though? Is it all like skin-tight pleather and glow-in-the-dark spandex?
There's definitely some of that, but cyberpunk fashion is really about these unexpected combinations. Like you'll find those high-tech fabrics,
Yeah.
the vinyl, the latex, all that reflective stuff.
Yeah.
But you mix it with more like rugged and natural materials too.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, like distressed leather or raw denim, even repurposed military canvas. You got to find that balance between like the sleek, futuristic look
Right.
and then that grittier, dystopian vibe.
So it's all about mixing and matching textures. Like I could totally wear a like futuristic iridescent top with my ripped jeans.
Exactly. That's what makes it cyberpunk. The contrast, playing with opposites. You make it your own that way.
Okay, so we've covered a lot. Cyberpunk is in our streetwear, it's in our offices, it's pulling from all these different subcultures.
It is.
So is it just a trend or is it more than that?
Well, this article actually makes a really interesting point about that.
Okay.
It says that cyberpunk fashion, it's not just like a passing fad.
Hmm.
You know, it's more like a reflection of how we see technology and how we use it.
So as technology changes,
How clothing changes with it.
it's like cyberpunk gives us this way to talk about tech,
Exactly.
all the excitement, the anxieties that come with it.
Because we're living in this world that feels dominated by corporations, by algorithms.
Right.
But with cyberpunk,
Yeah.
we can still be individuals.
So it's not just about looking cool.
It's about,
Although it definitely does that.
it does,
Yeah.
but it's also about making a statement,
Right.
starting a conversation, maybe even like shaking things up a little,
Yeah.
you know,
Totally. Owning it.
owning it.
So cyberpunk fashion, it's not just about the clothes themselves. It's about how those clothes make us feel.
100%. It's about expressing ourselves in this like crazy tech-driven world we're living in.
And who knows what's next?
Yeah,
As technology keeps changing cyberpunk fashion, I mean, it's got to keep evolving, too.
exactly. That's what's so exciting about it.
So what do you think? Are we all going to be rocking LED jackets and color-changing fabrics in the future? Let us know. Hit us up on social media and share your thoughts.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Until next time, stay curious, stay stylish.
Keep exploring.